Hi, Nancy Mueller here with another awesome Choices for Women segment for you. Today I'm so excited because my guest is Ildiko Scurr. And there's a couple things that I want to weave into this video today. Number one, be open to creating new relationships. I met Ildiko through a group on Facebook. We connected, we got to know each other. Now I live in the United States, she lives in the UK. The internet makes it so possible for us to make connections, but you can't make connections, you can't grow a relationship if you're not willing to step outside of your fears and grow and introduce yourself to people and really be vulnerable and authentic and talk to people. That's number one. I want you to think about that. Number two, I would like you to get to know Ildiko because as I have gotten to know her, we have created projects together. And one of the most amazing things that she does, she's going to tell you in her words, but in my words, she does energy work. And everything is all about energy. And just having been knowing her and working beside her and creating projects with her, I cannot even begin to tell you how my life has changed, as well as the lives of our clients that we've been working with together. We put both of our coaching modalities, business modalities together and created a program. So you never know who you're going to meet, how they're going to impact your life, your business, your career, your emotional status. And Ildiko has been one of those people for me. So I'm going to introduce Ildiko with as much absolute freaking positive energy that I have because I want you to know Ildiko Scurr. Ildiko, welcome to Choices for Women.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Thank you for having me on today. And I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted to have the opportunity to speak to your lovely ladies in this group. And of course, I'm a member too. And so it'd be lovely to share my what I do and my perspectives on things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ildiko, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you're so fabulous.
So as Nancy said, I live in the UK. I am a leading specialist in harnessing personal energy. You may not have heard of personal energy, but I'm going to give a little précis on what that is. I'm the founder of my own system, which is called Life Retuning. And simply what I do is I help to upgrade the quality of your life in the easiest and most natural way possible. So Life Retuning gives huge transformations in your life, your business, any aspect where you want an upgrade. Life Retuning is there and it can do it. How do I work? I sidestep the mind and instead I harness your personal energy field, which is something that each and every one of you has as your birthright. It might be invisible to you, but because, as Nancy says, everything is energy, you are an energetic being. And that's not just words. That's a fact. It's a fact from physics. And there's a lot of research that, I could quote, which demonstrates this to be a truth. So what I do is I work with your energy anatomy, which is hidden, and from that I can use a database. That database contains all the information about every single moment of your life, of your existence. So I can unravel and I can find solutions to help you out of any stuck place, whether that's emotional or mental. If you've got self-limiting behavior and thoughts, I have the tools to help you out of that very fast indeed. So that's basically what I do.
And Ildiko, I want to just say, just knowing you, my life has opened up so much because we talk about energy, and I think, it's with us all the time, of course, but maybe people don't give a lot of thought to it. Like they don't give a lot of thought to oxygen. We just breathe and we just say it's going to be there when we need it. But when you teach people how their energy is working for or against them, then it gives us the opportunity to open our minds and think outside of our beliefs. Now, when I say gives us the opportunity, it's because you can share what you do with someone, but if they're a non-believer or a scoffer and they just, don't even want to hear what you have to say, then okay, maybe they're just not ready for it. But the thing is, if they are ready, even just curiosity, I really, really recommend that they, have a chat with you and just find out how it can make such a difference in their life. You and I were talking recently about my brother who has traumatic brain injury. And so his memory and his speech is not there. But the energy between my brother and I is so powerful. Even my sister-in-law sees it in a way that she's like, wow, this is just amazing, how you guys interact. And so that's just like a little insight to help people think about, like, well, what does that mean? How can I apply it to my life? But when you start to think about things that are holding you back in life, and someone is working with you and you can say, look, I can see that you don't give yourself permission to be happy or the many things that you do. Now that person can step back and say, oh, okay, well, that is a truth that I'm unwilling to face. So now they have a choice. Face it and grow from it, or not face it and continue, feeling out of sorts in their life.
Absolutely. And I'm all about getting real and practical with energy. I don't want it to stay in the books and in the talks and, as a theoretical concept. I'm about getting it into everyday life, incorporating it in as a practice, as something to consider, which is highly important, because if we are made of energy, then everything that we do is an energetic interaction. It's a function on the energetic level. So it really does make the difference between whether somebody has a good life or a life that is unhappy. And it does come down to emotional states, mindset states, how the energy of your thoughts are actually percolating down and manifesting as physical ailments. There's a lot of layers where I work. I apply the life retuning, and it's a complex system in the sense of how I do things is complex. For my clients, it's not, because when you're on the receiving end, it's really easy. I sort of say what needs to be applied, it's done, and you feel a huge transformation. Things that you never believed you could ever do suddenly become really possible. So that's the result that people feel as being a client of the life retuning.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been a client as well as an associate and a friend. And like I said, when I'm not even talking to you or, when we're not interacting, things that I learn from you or just things that come into my mind and I say, oh yeah, I remember Ildiko taught me that or made me aware of that. It's so powerful. And one of the things that I was really amazed at when I first met you is that you don't even have to be in the same room with someone to do this. And I know the clients we've worked with together, that's one of the things that they say as well. They say, I was a little skeptical that she's going to do it all the way from the UK. But I mean, the process and the enlightenment has been so huge for them.
Yes, and it happens to be a special skill that I am blessed to have been born with, that I can actually read energy and the energy fields of others, whether they're sitting next to me or the other side of the globe. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm blessed, and I feel that is a blessing, because it means that I am available with this incredible transformational system globally for people to be able to benefit. And to me, that's an utter joy that I can do that. It's one of the things that really drives me, that I'm able to reach in anywhere and help anybody if they are willing to jump on board and try it. Yeah,
absolutely. I just one of the things that's been amazing to me as well, what I've learned from you is, I think a good way to explain it, I was trying to think like, how can I explain what I get from what I've learned from you? And, you know, you've had people, you've heard, I'm sure everybody has heard someone say, oh, my dog doesn't like the neighbor. Oh, my dog doesn't, you know, growls when so-and-so comes around. But the thing is, it's not the dog that's intuiting the person. It's the dog that's intuiting the master who's intuiting the person. And that's the intuition that we all have. And that's all based on energy. But we just don't give ourselves permission to say, that guy makes me feel a little out of sorts, or I think I should stay away from that person because of some kind of belief going on in our head, like you have to be nice to people or whatever, you know, that is. And we don't even pay attention to our own intuition. And it's that little piece of it, and that's just such a little piece of what you do. But imagine how when you start enlightening people and helping them understand that they can use this in all areas of their life, how amazing it is.
It really is. And you know, I run a one-day workshop here. I'd love to translate it onto doing it as an online workshop. And you know, maybe if somebody out there would like to talk to me about that, I'd be really, really pumped if I could, you know, get it online. But here I run this workshop and it's called the Energy Anatomy Workshop. And there is nothing like it because I teach about personal energy and how we can maximize on not just understanding it, but once we understand it, we can actually use it. So it's this one-day workshop and it blows people's minds. I mean, it really does, you know, they cannot believe what I'm teaching them. But to me, it's basically what I use in my own life every day. It's literally my resources, my internal resources. But there's this incredible misunderstanding, and I think part of that comes from the fact that for several centuries the mind has been seen as king. Going right back to the 16th, 17th century when science started to blossom into the discipline that it became, and then it became institutionalized. The same with the medical sector, you know, became a whole industry. But at the beginning, medicine and magic were no different. They were called the same thing. So as we became further and further distanced from things that were unexplainable, because at the time people did not have the equipment to be able to do experiments and to read these results, so they had to go on intuition, they had to go on microscopic observation, and there was this big distance that was created. And I see two individuals who kind of put the nail in the coffin for energy, and one of those was Newton, because he became convinced that we had a mechanistic universe, that there were no surprises, and that you could follow everything and understand everything and interpret everything through logic. And the other individual was Descartes, when he said that the mind and body are separate. Immediately we descended into what I term the real dark ages. Because when the mind took over as the dominant and the key focus of how we run our lives, we lost spirit and we lost energy. And intuition went with that too. And the heart also went, because the heart was not considered after that as a important aspect of our being and our experiences. So all of that just got shut down and walled off. But gradually there has been more and more experiments and research done into our consciousness, which the mind is only a narrow bandwidth of energy and entity, like in the whole of our consciousness. And now we understand that consciousness is not made up of just the mind, it's made up of the heart energy. The heart itself has got a massive field around it, which is 5,000 times more powerful energetically than that of the mind. So when the heart energy is released and we have total access to that resource, what happens is the mind aligns with the heart. And that's when it calms and it starts to run your life in a much more simple way. But when we shut off the heart and we only focus on the mind and we listen only to the mind, we end up in big trouble. And I don't need to say, everybody's lives out there, there is so much complication, so much trauma, so much self-limiting behavior. This is all the mind. This is the mind creating it. So it's so important to be able to read the energy, because the energy always tells the truth. Even if your mind is telling you one thing, your energy tells you the truth of the situation. So there's no illusion there.
Great, because our minds are telling us something based on a belief we were taught and bought into over and over and over and over again. And we don't question our beliefs. Why would we? That's why they're called a belief.
Question our beliefs all the time.
I know I see with the clients that we're working on, that we're working with together, how, helping them understand their energy, they are opening up in their relationships. They're learning to pay attention to their energy. And then when they come into session with me, they're starting to understand, like, oh, okay, I see where this is, and I'm just going to let this go. And it's so much faster to be able to open up and reach the goals that they're looking for. And I just think, like, going back to the example of, the dog and the master, imagine when you really open up to the fact that how much your intuition, how powerful your intuition is. And now you start to see how you can create better relationships, better careers. I mean, your health, everything is it just expands.
Absolutely. And that's why I say, harnessing your personal energy. That's like, going to the gym and exercising your muscles and getting stronger. It's just the same thing. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. If somebody told you that you didn't have a left arm, would you believe them? Would you believe them because they were an expert? Oh, you don't have a left arm, therefore you can't see your left. I don't think so. So it's about getting wise and what I term energy aware. And then, life changes dramatically. But I love educating people to become energy aware, energy savvy,
Yeah. Well, I know for me, I love what I have learned from you, what I'm continuing to learn from you, and looking forward to what I will, keep learning from you, just based on our friendship and, what we're doing together in business, as well as supporting each other. So if some of the listeners want to get a hold of you and find out more about you, how would they do that?
So I think the easiest thing is I'm going to go really low tech, and I'm just going to give my email address.
Okay.
If they want to, if you want to contact me and find out more information, my email is Ildiko. That's ILDIKO at liferetuning.com. Tuning as in a guitar. So liferetuning.com. You can drop me an email, or if you would like to find out more information, go to my website, which is www.liferetuning.com.
I'll put those links at the bottom of the video.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. So you can also look at my, my stuff on there. But I would say, if you want to have a conversation with me, and I'm aware that people need to have a conversation with me most of the time, because this is so new. It's so revolutionary. What I'm saying is revolutionary and cutting edge. So I'm always delighted, to have a chat with you and explain to you a little bit about, what I do in a deeper way, dive in deeper.
And what I'd like to add here is that if you're listening to this video, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, ooh, I'd like to know more about it, but then the next thought in your head is like, ooh, but I can't call her because, and however you finish that sentence in your head, because that's where you're not paying attention to your intuition and your energy is saying, no, no, no. So pay attention to the first thought that came in, connect with Ildiko, and find out how working with energy, changing your energy is going to change your life, because it's phenomenal.
Let me just put it in energetic terms. If what I've said resonates with you, get in touch. It's as simple as that. You're aligned. that means the next step is you need to find out about your personal energy.
Absolutely. I can attest to that. Thank you, Ildiko, for being with me today on Choices for Women.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Take care. Blessings to you all. Thank you.
Yeah. Ciao for now.